viewers to yet another episode of Meet the Mentors of Chakra Dialogues Foundation. I am Nimisha Pandey and I feel honored to have with me Dr. Rajesh, Executive Director, Society for Promotion of Youth and Masses, an NGO with special consultative status from the United Nations Economic and Social Council. Dr. Rajesh is well known for his exemplary work in the field of substance use, prevention and rehabilitation. And well, his advocacy for social justice in India is highly respectable. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, kindly tell us, how did you come up with this idea and what is SPYM doing right now?
It's a long story. Somewhere in 1984, one of my friends, he was using smack. And smack is a byproduct of opium and heroin. I realized when I was in Banaras that they were involved in illegal activities, so I kept myself away from them. When I came to Delhi, I realized that my friend who was my very, very good friend when we were in school, and I thought that now he is going to be in trouble. So what we did, we went to local police station. We requested him that, these are the peddlers. And local police station person said, we are aware, but we don't have any law to book them. I said, how is possible? ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता है. So what he told me that there are 5 laws, but under that law we can detain him for very, very short period. So why not you get us a law from the parliament? I said, "Aap kya baat kar rahe ho? How we can get a law?" He said, "No, why not you do some signature campaign?" And we were very young, naive. We had no clue what we had accepted. And you will be surprised, we collected almost 500,000 signatures from all over the country, and we presented then Prime Minister Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. So that was the beginning of SPYM, and we were not here in Delhi to do all this type of campaign. We came to Delhi to get a better job. I was doing my flying, so that was my focus. But somehow this whole process involved me, and I got a very good opportunity to work with the United Nations. I had opportunity to go outside India to learn, understand. So this was the humble beginning of SPYM, and it is not me. We had a large number of youth who were part of SPYM when we started in 84-85, and now it's a big organization. We have branches in different parts of the country.
That is great, sir. So let's jump on the topic as soon as possible. So, sir, I would want to know what are the trends and patterns you're observing today, and what are the changes you've seen in the past 15 years in the same aspect?
It's very disturbing. When we started, majority of people, those who were using, drug, illegal drug. I'm not talking about the legal drug, because till 85, 15th November. Even ganja was legal drug, and other drugs were also legal drug, including opium. Of course, restrictions were there. Of course, Narcotics, Drug and Psychotropic Substance Act, which was notified on 15th November 1985, things changed. So that time, only illegal drug used to be heroin. And adulterated form of that heroin was called smack. And I'll tell you a small story also why suddenly smack came to Delhi. If you look at India's map, on our western side there are 3 countries: Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. So these are the 3 countries. They are also called the Golden Crescent. So they are the major producer of opium, apart from Afghanistan, Laos and Myanmar, which is generally called Golden Triangle. So if you recall, 1978-79, there was a big revolution in Iran called, Ayatollah Khomeini's revolution, and Soviet intervention in Afghanistan. So these 2 producing countries, they were producing opium, but they were not routing it through Balkan route to Europe. They started routing drug via Delhi. And 1982, when the Asiad 82 took place, a lot of Afghanis came as a refugee or as a participant for the 82 Asian Game, and that is our understanding that they also brought heroin. And that time, so much security or so much search at the airport was not there, and Delhi was flooded with good quality heroin. And most of our the clients of early 80s, they tell us this story. So initially it was only opium and heroin available in the country, illegal. Legally, ganja or marijuana, whatever you call it, that was available. But after 15th November 1985, it became illegal. But then it started circulating in the market. Unfortunately, what happened in the punishment prescribed in NDPS Act, 10 years for heroin also and 10 years for ganja also. So large number of traders, peddlers, pushers, they started dealing only in heroin, smack or this type of substances. So they had to find some market. Those who were using already ganja or marijuana, they started shifting to smack. And there was flood. Delhi was flooded, or the places like Delhi, it was flooded with smack. So this was a big shift. So this was in late 80s, early 90s. But in last 10-15 years, world has changed totally. Now there are synthetic drugs available in the market. The people have started manufacturing methamphetamine types of drug in India. There are small labs, which is not difficult to make methamphetamine. So currently there are 3 or 4 illegal drugs available in India. One is opiate. Opiate means anything produced by opium. It could be heroin, it could be morphine, it could be pethidine, it could be smack. So this is opium family. There is another family is called stimulant family, the cocaine and cocaine types of. But fortunately, cocaine is not available in India. It is available, but because since cocaine is usually produced in Latin American countries like Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, so it is difficult for them to traffic it to Delhi. It comes. I'm not saying that it doesn't come, but it is among the top elite of the country, those who use cocaine, because it's a stimulant. Third is marijuana family. From leaf we get bhang. Bhang is legal. From leaf it is still sold in the market legally. Then flower, seed, and some other things they mix it. That is called ganja or marijuana or weed. There are different names in different states or in different region. And the third is called charas or hashish. वो उसके seed raisin से बनता है. And the oil of hash is called hash oil. So in India currently number 1 illegal drug, because there alcohol and tobacco, both are also categorized as drug, as substances. But since they are legal, so we are not talking right now about these 2 drugs.
Okay.
We are not talking about tobacco, we are not talking about alcohol, but currently I'm talking about the illegal drugs and some drugs which are pharmaceutical drugs, which are supposed to be sold. They are all under prescription, and they are controlled drug. Only if someone has prescription, they can buy it. So currently what is happening, illegal drug, from illegal drug, ganja is number 1 drug. Smack or smack type of substances, they are number 2. And unfortunately, the use of smack in India is opiate is almost double of the global average. And then there are amphetamine types of stimulants, there are methamphetamine, there are other substances which are available. But of course, the users' number is less. So this is the big shift in last 10-15 years from what we saw in mid-80s.
Sir, you were talking about how there has been a rise in synthetic drugs. So what is this rise? Why is this rise? And is there an international or a national syndicate involved? Is there a nexus? And how are these young people, these young minds, which are falling into this trap and moving towards drug use?
It's very disturbing. Afghanistan has reduced its opium cultivation by 80 to 90%. But they are now producing methamphetamine, and it is called ICE in Punjab. And literally they are dropping either free of cost or without much profit. And of course, you can understand which country is involved in it. So this is something which is very disturbing. And this is increasing. Fortunately, the people, those who have been using SMAC or SMAC type of derivatives, they are not comfortable with ice or ice type of methamphetamine or any stimulant. The reason is because both have different effect. Opiates, वो आपको सुलाता है, and stimulant like tea, coffee, tobacco, वो जगाता है. So those who have been dependent on opiates, they are not comfortable with ice. So this is silver lining. And another silver lining is that opium or opiates, smack available in Delhi streets or no, some of the Indian streets is highly adulterated. So withdrawal is easily manageable. So these are the two things which we have to understand, that now the trend is, and in coming days, if you might have heard about the discussion by Trump globally that we have to reduce or we have to stop fentanyl coming into the country. So this is a synthetic drug. Effect is of opium, and this is like 10 times more potent than heroin. So you can understand, and easy to make. Earlier it was manufactured in China, and please understand, the word drug means drug, literally drug. Now we have made it illegal. Like when heroin was invented, it was invented as a drug, as a painkiller. When cocaine was invented, it was again invented for medical purpose. Most of these drugs have been invented or developed for medical reasons, but then people realize that addiction is very fast. People are becoming more and more dependent. You should go and Google the whole Coca-Cola the journey. When the Coca-Cola, the word is cola,
yeah,
and cola comes from cocaine. So when it was developed I think it was in 1860s. So it was developed more as a relief provider, because that was the time when in USA civil war was taking place, people were wounded. So it used to give them relief. And then later I think cocaine and cocaine type of substances were removed from Coca-Cola. So you have to understand, most of the drugs are there. They are, sometimes it is illegal, sometimes it is legal. Like for example, now for marijuana, what is happening? There is a global movement that make it legal, and some countries globally, they have also recognized that this will be illegal. So this is all big game, and the game is played by someone sitting we don't know where. I give you one example. In India, around 2 crore 40 lakhs people, as per the last data of Government of India, which was conducted in 2018 with the AIMS and Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. A study was conducted. 2 crore 40 lakhs people are using opiates. Opiates could be legal, opiates could be illegal. For example, morphine. Morphine is a legal drug but controlled drug. It cannot be sold in the market, cannot be bought in the market. Same fentanyl patch. It is a legal drug in Indian hospitals, but it cannot be sold. So if if someone is using fentanyl without prescription or without any the guidance, it means that he or she is using opiate. So the opiate use in this country is around 2.4 crore. Just for calculation, you have to understand that 2 crore people, forget about those 40, just for the calculation, I'm making this easier for our viewers. If they are using half a gram a day, which is not big, and I told you, usually all these drugs are highly adulterated, so the effect and impact is less. So half a gram is very normal, very common. Half a gram means of 2 crore people, if they are using half a gram, it means that 1 crore gram divided by 1,000 to make it kg. So it will give you, and multiplied by 365 days. So 36.5 lakh kg is available, and we have to add that 40. So around 40 lakhs kg is my estimate. Opiate is used in this country, And the cheapest street-based smack or opiate is not available less than 2 crore a kg. 2 crore means around 2,000 rupees a gram. So you understand the quantum of money being pumped to underworld. So my answer to your question is that someone is making profit. Now, who is that making profit? No one knows. How the profit is generated? Drug user, usually to sustain their drug habit, what they do? They start also peddling. Like, they will get 5 gram adulterated smack. They will make it 10 gram. They will distribute among their own peers. They'll make some money. They will use it for buying next dose. They will sustain from this, and then the chain goes up. So it is not easy to understand that how much money is generated at what level, but the quantum of money is 1.73 lakh crore is pumped to underworld just from one drug. I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm not talking about other chemical drugs or methamphetamine types of stimulants. Just for your understanding, 25-26 budget is 52,000 lakh crore, and that is 1.73 lakh crore. So it is almost like 3 times or 4 times the amount we are pumping to the underworld.
So another thing which you said, that there has been a global reconciliation about making marijuana legal.
Yeah.
So hypothetically speaking, just for our viewers, for the viewers' curiosity, what will happen in India just if we make marijuana legal for a day or maybe a month? What is your experience, about this? What will happen if this happens? So where is our youth going? How the children are getting encircled into this? So if you could elaborate on that.
We can decriminalize. There are two different things. Decriminalize means someone is using drug, marijuana, for example. We can provide all the treatment, all the treatment related services, but we cannot, categorically I say, we cannot make and we should not make marijuana legal in this country, because a lot of things are at stake. Almost 60 crore our young population in this country are below 25. What message we are going to give them? So I'm dead against. We should not make it legal. We should not propagate also that it should be legalized. And the users, what they are doing now, there are drugs which are, say, hydroponic drugs are now being cultivated in flats. So if you allow them to legally cultivate it, we will be in a very difficult situation.
So now I would like to circle back into how our youth is getting involved. So stating from my point of view, what I've seen and what I've observed in my juniors and stuff, people or children usually start with hookahs, right? And I don't know how they travel from just a hookah to a full-fledged drug use capacity. So if you could shed some light on how this is happening.
See, you have to understand, we have been running treatment centers for children, and most of our study within in-house study reveals that around 90 to 95% kids started because of the peer pressure. And in peer pressure, there are two things. One, मेरे जैसा ही वो उसको लगना चाहिए class में. And the person who is an influencer is the person who starts pushing drug among their own peers. So that's very important to understand. Peer pressure is something which is major. सबसे बड़ा कारण लोगों के लिए peer pressure है, बच्चों के लिए start करना. Most of the hookah bar, you might not be aware, we are aware. What they do in hookah, tobacco is to begin with, but there are drops of various types of methamphetamine, crystals, ice, and they all come in drop. Vaping is all part of that whole thing. So they are cultivating there future clients. And please understand, if a child age 14 and 15, if he or she starts using it, will be there for another 40, 50 years. One product you tell me in the world, when you start at 14 and 15 or 13, will be using it for next 40, 50 years. And plus, I told you, there's an international cartel. There are, I give you one example. A consignment landed at Gujarat port. The destination of that consignment was Vijayawada. And there are two ports close to Vijayawada. One is Vizag or Visakhapatnam, and another is Chennai. Why that drug or why that consignment landed at Gujarat? It was just accidental that they realized that someone informed that there is some drug in this particular consignment, and they saw that this is a talcum powder, but it was not talcum powder. Oh. That consignment was worth 20,000 crore as reported in newspapers. So you understand the money involved in it. So one consignment, if it was 20,000 crores, think about, and please understand globally, this is a INCB report, that whatever the drug is available in the market, the seizure is around 5 to 7%. And that you can, if you analyze Ministry of Social Justice data and Narcotics Control Bureau data, seizure data. So then you can see some trend and pattern you will see. So the drug available in the market is in large quantity. For them to sustain them, they have to ensure that the youngest possible person starts it. They become peddler, they become influencer, they become pusher, and most of them are usually bright and influential students.
So, sir, like you said, most of them are bright. So, are factors like the family environment or academic stress, is that playing a role in how people are getting sucked in? And as well, does childhood trauma actually increase the risk of addiction or something like that?
Our data says, no, that's not true. It will be a factor after some time to continue and sustain it. But initially, it is a peer pressure. The child doesn't know that even if I take once, I might be tempted to try second time, third time, fourth time. There are learning disabilities, and mostly for the poor students, what we have realized, we have been running 3 treatment centers for children. One was children in conflict with law, other is for girls, those who are below 18, and the third is the children, those who are not involved in crime, but they have been using drug. So from our center, what we realized that learning disability is something like, for example, they are not doing well in this class. They are not doing, they are not comfortable in studies. And if there is a pressure, and someone is waiting to introduce drug to this individual. So learning disability could be one major factor if a child starts, and especially with the glue sniffing. Glue sniffing is something which is a volatile solvent, like any paint, thinner,
markers,
Fevicol, all these.
Is this actually a precipitating factor?
Yes, learning disability is one major issue, and generally parents don't understand. They pressurize, and the child is not able to cope up with that pressure.
Oh.
So that then it is a coping for them. The underlying factor is this.
So they start with the glue sniffing and...
Yeah, what is glue sniffing? Glue sniffing is, it is huffing, inhaling. If a child inhales, what happens? उसका memory को वो erase करता है, उसके nervous system को numbness लाता है. Child becomes comfortable. तो उसको कोई डांटता भी है, कोई अगर पीटता भी है, तो उसको कोई ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. So, but again, this has been introduced by the friend.
Yeah.
So peer influence is the most important factor. And less knowledge about the substances which can harm this child is also a very important factor.
So you were talking about how your second center is for girls below the age of 18.
Yeah.
So can you shed some light on what is the trend over there or patterns you're seeing in young girls?
It's a very disturbing and emerging issue which we all have to address immediately. See what happens, mostly young girls with the help of their boyfriends, they start using substances, like what you said, go hookah bar, or they go to pub, they go to various parties, they go night out or night stay. So usually these girls, they start using drug with their boyfriends or someone they know very closely. Once they are hooked, then what happens? They are physically exploited, mentally exploited, and most of the kids, those who come to our treatment center, SPYM's Girls Treatment Center, they have been bought and sold so many times. All of them are usually involved in sex work. I'm not saying that everyone, but large number of them are also involved in sex work, because if some and please understand, the quantum of drug girls always take much more than their counterpart boy. The reason is because there is so much agony, so much mental stress, there is stigma, shame. Because of this, they always use more. And since they use more, so the price of these drugs, as you know, street price is always high, because they cannot go and procure from that drug peddler. So they use someone to get it. And 3,000 to 4,000 rupees a day is not big amount for them. And 3,000 to 4,000 rupees, almost a lakh rupees a month, from where they will get it? The kids, the young girls, those who come to our center, 14, 15, they have sex, STI, disease. Some of them are HIV positive. Some come with the, kids. Some have mental trauma. Some have mental, so many other issues. So the girls, they need immediate support, immediate attention by everyone, by the family, by neighborhood, by school, by the country.
So, sir, how can parents and aware community members identify such youth or girls or boys, and what goes on in these rehabilitation centers which you're talking about? If you could help us understand.
Let me first demystify. 99.9% children do not use drug, and that's a reality. So the first priority of the nation should be that let us protect them. And it's simple. Life skill based materials, modules have been developed by SPYM. Now it is the ownership is with Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and Ministry of Education. That's called Nav Chetna. So this Nav Chetna is for class 6, 7, 8 and 9, 10, 11. This is life skill based.
Okay.
Life skill based, school based, teacher led. So only one class in 6 months they have to conduct. Easy, fun, activity, and we have seen the impact of this. Second is those who have started experimenting it. For them, there is another module called CPLI, community-based peer-led intervention. One peer will influence other peer, positive influence. The third, early treatment. Early treatment means the moment family realizes that my child is using drug, they should not feel shy. Unfortunately, stigma is so much that they don't open up, but I encourage, I request families to seek help immediately. And most of the treatment centers are free. Like SPYM, we run treatment center right from Jammu Kashmir. We are in Uttarakhand, Rishikesh, Haldwani, Nainital, in Punjab, in Chandigarh, Darjeeling, Delhi, of course. So one can reach out, and I'll request you to flash at the end our toll-free number, our helpline number. So if they reach out to us, we will connect them with the nearest possible treatment center. So please reach out to a good qualified service provider. Please do not go to a treatment center which is not supported or funded by the government. The reason is they are all torture centers. They create problem for the child, and the child, if is admitted in that center, they will be there for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, but they are not treated there. They are tortured. Treatment is simple and science and evidence-based treatment should be encouraged. For example, there are 4 phases of treatment. The first phase is, we call it a motivation. We motivate a drug user to come to treatment. It might take 2 months, 3 months, doesn't matter. But that is first step. The second step is the shortest, we call it a detox. Detox means withdrawal management. Third is, we call it a rehabilitation. The person who was what he was or she was before initiating drug, we have to bring this individual to that particular stage. And the fourth stage is called, we call it very simple, recovery support. The person who is now in recovery should sustain recovery with the help of people, those who have been treated. Let me also demystify 3 words. One word, we call it a tolerance, other is called dependence, and third is called withdrawal. The whole game of drug use is surrounding around these 3 words. Someone start with a small dose, frequency could be once in 5 days, once in 10 days. Then they start using on a daily basis, on a regular basis. Initially they can start with one puff, but gradually it increases. So the dependency also increases and tolerance also increases. And as and when they don't take it, so the mind will always remind that give me that, otherwise, the mind creates problem for the body, both psychologically and physically, and that is called withdrawal. So the people, those who deal in drug, they understand these 3 terms. So my humble request is, the moment you come to know that your family member, your loved one, your dear one has started experimenting with drug, ask for help. Help is available. Go to only qualified science and evidence-based treatment program or services.
Sir, how do we sustain somebody who is recovered?
Again, what we do, you see, you might have heard about Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. All these are excellent community-based program. It's a self-help group. And we also connect every individual who has been treated in SPYM. We connect them with a mentor, and that's as and when they have any trouble, any problem, any thought coming in, they have to call their mentor, and the mentor will always help. So this is possible. It's not easy, but recovery is possible. Treatment is effective, and from SPYM we have treated thousands and thousands, and I can vouch. There are hundreds and people, those who are now example, and some of them are excellent counselors within SPYM. Some of them are now project in charge, some of them are project directors. So please believe in science and evidence-based treatment. It is effective, it is possible.
Sir, I would like you to tell me one case study, since you are so experienced in this entire field, where you actually came to know that how serious this problem is even among the children. So is there any interesting story you would like to share with us? We
have been working in substance use prevention, treatment, rehabilitation since 85-86. In 2010, Honorable High Court of Delhi, and there is a committee called Juvenile Justice Committee, and the committee was headed that time Justice Deepak Mishra ji. So we were called that can you come and help us. So I thought that there's 5 or 10 kids might be there and we'll help them. But then we realized no, the number is big. And the data of 2018, it says around 20 lakh kids, they need treatment today. So you could imagine the number of drug user, children drug user all over the country. And if someone wants, one should download the study of Ministry of Social Justice. That the study is called Trend and Pattern Magnitude of Drug Use in India. So this is big. So when we started treating young kids, and most of these kids were all involved in crime. That's why the treatment center was started by SPYM with the help of Honorable High Court of Delhi, Juvenile Justice Committee. There are a lot of good films available on NDTV India, that is India Matters. So they did a story of 4 kids in 2012, and all these 4 kids are doing extremely well. And I tell you honestly, when we started treating them, we said that there's no hope, because all were involved in crime. in murder, you name anything they had committed. And now all those four kids, like one person, I'm not going to name them.
Yeah.
One person is in garment business. He has around 70, 80 karigar or the tailor in his factory. Another has 7 or 8 rickshaw, auto rickshaw. So one is the owner of a dhaba. So that story on India Matters is called Second Chance.
Oh.
So it is possible. The only thing is sustained efforts are required, and society wants shortcut. That's not possible.
Okay, so coming back to the segment of recovery, so what is the biggest challenge you've seen while treating youth who are involved in drug use? What is the biggest challenge as doctor, as rehab specialists you guys have seen?
The biggest problem is the stigma. Family brings that person or that individual, the loved one, in a treatment program very late. And by the time this person has been admitted in, I call torture centers 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. The reason is because these torture centers, or they send their bouncers, and it is at the request of the family. So we have to also blame family. So family will pay for the bouncer, family will pay for the car. So literally, physically, they are lifted from the home, they are sent to these treatment centers, and they are treated with all the tortures. And then after 6 months, 7 months, they are discharged. So the first thing what they do, once they are out from the treatment, they start using drug.
Yeah.
So they fail 3 times, 4 times. So this is our biggest problem. The family must ask professional help. They should not take their child or their loved one a treatment center which has no track record.
Sir, in fact, I've many times heard you and SPYM advocating that drug users should be treated as victims and not as, somebody who has a criminal background. So what role does that thinking play in their rehab, and how can we, reduce this prevalence amongst us?
Good question. Drug addiction or dependency has been categorized by WHO, by DSM-5 as a chronic brain disorder. And it's a disease. Tell me how many diabetic patients have been sent to jail for taking sweets?
None.
It's a disease.
Yeah.
Huh? How many blood pressure patients have been taken to jail if they have taken salty food?
None.
So why a drug user should be sent to jail? Of course, the problem is the drug users, to sustain their habit, they commit crime. Why they commit crime? Because they are not part of the treatment. Once they are part of the treatment, automatically we cut that chain. And if you cut the chain, the profit of the cartels will go down.
Yeah.
And it goes down, then suddenly what will happen? The pusher, paddlers, international gang, mafia, they will shift to somewhere else. So please, number 1, early prevention. Number 2, early intervention. Number 3, early treatment, and treatment without stigma, discrimination, treatment without any fear of getting arrested. So these are very important, and we have been working in Tihar prison. We have been working right now. We have a treatment center we are managing on behalf of Government of Punjab in a place called Fatehgarh Sahab. Large number, almost all are coming from the prison under NDPS Act Section 64A. And there we see, they're all young. They're our kids, 19, 20. I was literally in tears. One IIT student graduate in our treatment center in Rishikesh. And when he started narrating his story, I said, look here, bright, brilliant, very honest, very sincere. And he started using drug because of stigma.
Yeah.
So that's why alternate to incarceration is the only way out to bring people in treatment.
Sir, if you could just share some interesting stories you saw or you get to experience in your time in Tihar, when you were working with the Tihar prisoners in the Tihar jail?
See, we have been working in prison number 5, which is in Bihar. It is called Bacha Jail. Bacha Jail means from 18 years to 21 years. Most of them are, the victim of their friends, and we feel sad and bad. They should not be in prison. Almost 70% kids, they say that in last 48 hours we have used some illegal substance. We could have prevented them coming to jail. And once someone is in prison, you understand, family is stigmatized.
Yeah.
If the person is married, look at the wife's situation, look at the parent's situation, look at the children's situation. So, these are something which we have to understand and address at the earliest. Otherwise, this is going to be a major problem for a country like India, where we have a large number of young population.
What support systems are needed to help such young people reintegrate into the society? How can schools and workplaces be more aware? And what role can a family play in preventing a relapse? That's my last question for you, sir.
It's very simple. If a child was using drug, has been treated, the child must be taken back in the school without any question. Number 1. Sensitization of his or her class, students and teachers. Don't ask any question. Accept the child the way the child is. The family should not feel uncomfortable. Most of the time children will say, "Papa to विश्वास ही नहीं करते कि अभी भी मैं drug ले रहा हूँ, नहीं ले रहा हूँ." So the family should always ask the professional, if this is the situation, what I should do. And I tell you one very important thing. Large number of mothers and spouses are also called codependent. The codependent is almost like drug user. So, these are the few things which needs to be addressed at the earliest.
Thank you so much, sir. It was genuinely a very enlightening experience having to talk to you. And I am so grateful and I feel so honored that such a person like you is associated with us at Chakra Dialogues Foundation. Sir is a mentor there. And we surely see a promising future with such brilliant minds at work in our nation. And for our viewers, let us together describe and advocate what this stigma is. Even just speaking for myself, just an hour ago, I was referring to the term as substance abuse. It was Sir who corrected me that it is substance use. So let us identify how such small things which we are involved in is helping reinforce that stigma. Thank you.
Thank you.